But instead they're going to spend all their money bringing scab labour up from other hotels and paying, honestly,
shocker.
No one's even mentioned PR fees, but I wonder how much they paid on PR to try and get this ignored in the press. Keep coming out, keep supporting these guys, and stay out as long as you can, and we'll do anything we can to support you. Okay, victory to the workers.
But we managed to get them to come together and get every single union to fight for us, and we eventually won a strike ballot. So we were fortunate that we didn't have to go on strike because the government shit it. Right? Unfortunately, that's not what private sector workers are faced with. They are faced with billionaire, greedy fuckers screwing them over at every turn. And it's not acceptable. The hostility that these workers have received happens more than you would realise.
So the fact that we're here is testament to the strength and determination of all of the village workers. Workers have been squeezed by bosses and told we have to accept it. We get laughed at on the news when we ask for a fair pay rise and told there's no money for us. And we know billionaires, millionaires have never been more wealthy than they are now. We know the truth.
From the workers, and this is shown time and time again. They try very hard to kind of intimidate, but it's the solidarity that we are seeing here today to get through this, and I'm really hoping that will continue for your vote. So thank you very much.
So let's continue to be here. The solidarity of the whole movement, as they say, an injury to one is an injury to all. Solidarity, thank you.
Because of this, and because of the sheer advantages of village hotels, we've now found ourselves in a situation where we're having to strike. And in these grievance procedures that we have around this,
it's only down to them and their labour, and their labour has been exploited far too long. And the reason why this industry is the way that it is because of its unorganisation and its low density. There's 3.5 million hospitality workers in this country, and that's a low estimate. And there's no time to sort of sit about and wait and see what happens. We need to organise them now, and it's crucial that we do that every single day. Any cafe, any pub, any restaurant that we go into, we speak to those workers and we make sure they know their worth. We make sure that they have the strength to actually organise themselves, because there's nothing that those bosses fear more than organised workers.
We know, as we've already heard, that hospitality is one of the most hostile sectors, not only to human beings, it's one of the most exploitative sectors to workers, but it's also one of the most hostile sectors to organise in. And that's why this strike is so important. The last strike amongst hotel workers was just a few days after I was born, in 1979. And I think the chambermaids in London, who were brave enough to go out on strike then, have given us, they've given us strength. And whilst we might not have seen strike action since 1979, the fact that we can gather here today in support of workers, in support of fair pay, in support of equal pay is so important.
And people keep saying you're going to win, and I just felt that when I got here today. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just know what a winning struggle is, and this is one. Because if somebody says you've got Neds and golf tonight, and you're definitely winning that. I seen the manager standing looking at everybody. I've often wondered what these managers do for a job. I don't know how they've got so much time on their hands to kind of stare at us. But they don't intimidate us, and they don't intimidate people like Daniel, who's probably one of the best trade union leaders I've ever seen. And obviously everybody that he represents, all the sisters that have stood up here and spoke today. I think what this means to me as well, obviously speaking of the GMB, is this isn't just a struggle that's going to potentially start bringing down a multinational empire like Blackstone. It's starting to rebuild that working class unity that this city so desperately needs. And the trade unions need to get a grip and bring an end to this competitive trade union nonsense and storm together.
per head
by the bosses. And here's the thing, you guys who are getting paid less than your colleagues who are over 21 who are doing the exact same job, do your landlords charge you less rent because you're under 21? Does it cost less to buy the groceries that you need to survive just because you're under 21?
No!
Does it cost less to raise a child because you are under 21?
No!
Who think that things like strike action, like industrial action, aren't necessarily possible in hospitality. We have literally had 40 years of losing rights in the workplace, of losing trade union rights. To my parents' or grandparents' generation, things like being a trade union member was not seen as radical. It wasn't seen as trying to stir up issues or cause problems with your manager. It was normal. And people could afford houses then. People could afford most of their bills. People love talking about, the right-wingers have talked about the winter of discontent when trade unions had too much power. But what I'll tell you that they didn't have then was over a decade of wage stagnation. I'm 21, and since I was 5 years old, the average wage in this country has not actually changed. That is insane. The anger that young people should be feeling, especially those in precarious work, whether it's 0 hours contracts, or whether it's just having that informal power relationship with your boss, where you don't actually know what you're allowed to get away with, and they can change it.
He goes home to his family and lavishes the goodies on them, but he wouldn't see the people that are actually earning his bloody wages get a penny. We can't let these people off the hook. We can't let these people off the hook. For far too long, it's been seen as being acceptable to pay these people daft wages because they work there. It's what chief executives get. All that bollocks. I might just project at this point. All that bollocks, right? It is just that complete nonsense, right? Don't fall for it. None of you fall for it. Don't accept it. Don't tolerate it.
When the boss comes calling, they'll put us down. When the boss comes calling, gotta stand your ground. When the boss comes calling, don't believe their lies. When the boss comes calling, he'll take his toll. When the boss comes calling, don't you sell your soul. When the boss comes calling, we gotta organize.